Some time ago, a pastor asked me to help evaluate his church. And so as we talked, I asked him about his evangelizing system. And he said, well, several years ago, we had a program that didn't work for us, and we really haven't done anything about it since. I intend to get back to it. And what he was saying to me honestly was, I have a church that is not sowing the gospel to anybody in the community around us, even though that's one of the critical biblical functions of the church. What I call this church is a broken system church. We have a system that we should be doing, and what system means is a biblical function that we are responsible for, but we're not doing it. It's broken, it's offline. And this is why we're stuck, because we can't make and retain more disciples without all of our systems functioning the way they were designed to by God in the scriptures. And so you might have a broken system in discipleship, or in the way you do your gathering, or how you connect people to the body of Christ, or how you develop other people in leadership or in ministry, or handling your money with integrity, or you might have a broken small group system, so there's no place for people to connect relationally with each other in the church. When you have broken systems, your church just does not function the way it was designed to function. How do systems get broken? Well, one way they get broken is that they're led by the wrong person, that you have somebody in charge of it, but they're really not developing it. They're not making sure that the parts are getting put into place, or that people are being trained so that they're actually doing what the system calls for them to do. Or it could be that you're missing some of the parts of the systems, because all systems have parts. And when one of the parts are missing, it's like trying to ride a bicycle without the front wheel. You can pedal, if you can hold it up, you can get somewhere, but it just doesn't function like a bicycle. Take, for example, evangelizing, as we were talking about earlier. Evangelizing systems call for a clear definition of the gospel, someone to teach people how to witness, prayer for the lost on a regular basis, a whole church strategy, how do we reach the lost together, accountability, how do we know people are actually engaged in evangelizing, because it's important, and a baptism theology. When people cross the line of faith, they should be baptized in a public way. When one of those parts are missing, and usually more than one are missing in a lot of churches I go into, the church isn't going to be evangelistically effective. And so you have a broken system that's not working for you, even though you know it should be working, even though this is what the church should be doing. So if you're pastoring a church with broken systems, the first thing you need to do is evaluate your systems. Look at them and say, are they actually functioning the way that they should be functioning to produce a result? You can actually do this kind of evaluation by using the evaluation tool we have in the Increasing Church Capacity primer that we provide. You can look at all 18 of your systems and say, are they functioning? And if they're not, where are they broken? Secondly, you need to educate yourself. You may not know what to do about your broken system, but somebody does. I remember when I planted a church years ago in Florida, that we wanted to make the central theme of connection in our church the small group system. And so when we were running 40 people, we started 4 small groups. And we grew from 40 to 120, and we had 4 small groups. Because we didn't know how to multiply them, it wasn't working for us. And so instead of beating our head against the wall, we just shut down the whole system, and we went out to another church who was doing it well and say, teach us what you're doing. And they did, and we brought it back to our church. And even as the church was growing, our small group system began to flourish, so that by the time the church was 4 years into this, the majority of the church was in a small group. So it's now working for us. This is what you want to do when you're leading a church with broken systems. Don't just sit there and wring your hands and say, I don't know what to do. Evaluate well, and then go out and find out how to build that system the way it's supposed to function, and then do it. The next time I talk to you, I want to talk about the out-of-touch church.